Now, we are living today in very serious times. We are historical optimists, but we're not stupid. We're not Pollyannish. We're historical optimists in the sense that we understand that objective conditions are creating the possibility for the conquest of power by the working class. There are many objective factors that are working in that direction. The very development of world economy, the explosive growth of capitalist relations throughout the world have vastly increased the size and economic power, industrial power of the proletariat. It is a world power. Areas of the world which were hardly developed 50 years ago are now major centers of economic development and potential centers of proletarian class struggle. Let me just make the point that within a decade or two, the largest cities in the world will be in Africa. A vast proletariat has emerged. Moreover, the development of new technologies, the very process of globalization has torn apart, in a fundamental economic sense, the basis of nationalism, of national politics. The world economy can only be conceptualized from the standpoint of global production networks in which every commodity is the product of an infinitely complex process of interconnected global production, distribution, finance. Again, when a worker picks up his mobile phone or iPhone, from the standpoint of the World Division of Labor, he or she is in direct communication and contact and is working with the products of an international working class. No commodity has an identifiable national origin. Maybe hula hoops do, if they ever existed. I mean, everything, and not even that. I mean, when you pick up the ubiquitous water bottle, you're now dealing with the complexity of global water supplies, the plastics industry, distribution issues. All of this is incredibly complicated. So from an objective standpoint, the socialist movement, the world socialist movement, the socialist revolution itself is only a political, phenomenal expression of an underlying objective economic reality. But that objective reality has to be translated into forms of thought and into conscious political practice by the working class. Whether you are in Australia, the United States, Argentina, any country in the world, all are part of this complex interaction. And the crisis which is unfolding is one which is drawing into its orbit masses of people in every part of the world. We have said that World War III has begun, and it has. Not in a horizontal sense, as it was witnessed, one might say, in World War II, but as a complex, interactive political process where a war in Ukraine interacts with the struggles in the Middle East, and suddenly takes the form of a collapse of regime in Syria. Certain features revive themselves. We're seeing now a struggle to tear apart Ukraine among major capitalist powers. And in fact, what is happening in Ukraine is bringing into conflict, into the surface, another conflict between Turkey and Israel, between Turkey and the United States, between Iran and Turkey. These conflicts are incredibly complicated because they unfold on the basis of an international division of labor, a globalized world in which there is a universal worldwide struggle for strategic resources, markets, and so on. So from an objective standpoint, the conditions and necessity for social revolution are present. The great problem, the great issue, is the question of leadership. And for that, we don't have all the time in the world. Now, can it be done? Yes, it can. Can a world movement be built? Absolutely. The technology which is now developing, if acted upon and utilized by the revolutionary movement, by the Marxist movement, makes possible an integration, unification of working class struggle, of global strategy in a way that was never before possible. The International Committee is aware of this. We're excited by the potential it presents. But it always comes down to the end, what workers and what young people decide to do. I know that many of you here are supporters of the SDP in Australia, have helped support it financially. I spoke at a meeting just the other night in Melbourne where we had many electoral members. My message to them was, okay, thank you for your support of putting us on the ballot. Now join the party. Build it. There's much for all of you to do. Many types of skills are required. Every individual who joins the party and becomes part of this process of revolutionary struggle can exercise influence today on a world scale. In other words, exponentially increase the reach of our movement. There is great truth in what Marx said. No historical problem presents itself unless the conditions for its solution are already present or at some significant stage in the emergence of its possibility of resolution. I believe today all the conditions necessary for the achievement of socialist revolution are present. The great task is for that understanding to be consciously apprehended, comprehended, and made the basis of practice.